What's going on, guys? Justin Melson here. I create all the content on the Happy Fox Productions YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the differences between the DJI Ronin and the Glidecam and why you'd want to choose one over the other or vice versa. And I'm going to try and be as least biased as possible. And this is coming from someone who doesn't own either piece of equipment. And I know you're thinking, then why are you making a video? Well, because I don't own a Glidecam or a Ronin, but I do have a good amount of experience using both. So I'm going to try my best to say why I prefer the Ronin over the Glidecam or why I choose the Glidecam over the Ronin. It's not about which is cooler looking, it's about which gets the job done for your specific production. So today we're going to be going over the key benefits of each one and why I've used different ones in different scenarios.
Keep going.
With that's a post-apocalyptic short film, and I wanted to have a lot of gritty handheld shots, and also when the key moments needed stationary, static shots or dolly shots, I was able to use the Ronin and the Glidecam on the same production. Mainly because one, I could only afford to have the Ronin for so long, and two, my girlfriend who's a film student was able to provide me with her Glidecam, and we were able to trade off back and forth. And surprisingly, my favorite shots in that short film were shot with the Glidecam and not the Ronin. The Ronin, for example, in this shot was able to help me, pan from his feet all the way up to him holding the gun, as opposed to with the Glidecam that would be way more difficult. With this shot, for example, the Glidecam, I'm able to dolly and turn the camera exactly the way I wanted it. That seems like something that the Ronin would be great for, but I was actually able to accomplish that with the Glidecam, and actually I have some B-roll right here of me operating that exact same shot, so you can kind of see how that works. Okay, cut. So at the end of the day, they're both phenomenal pieces of gear, and you can't necessarily decide between which or the other. But in terms of pros and cons of each, I know, let's say with the Glidecam, it's reliable. There's no electronics involved. If you can get it balanced properly, then you're good. The thing is, there's a learning curve with that. When my girlfriend and I, when we first started opening up her Glidecam, it took us a good 2 to 3 hours to get it balanced properly. And even when we did get it balanced, it wasn't that great because we were still new at it. As opposed to the Ronin, I had a friend, Jeremy, who was able to take me in, and he showed me how to balance it and everything within about 30 to 45 minutes. And then I took it home and did it again and again and again. And I was able to have that thing working really, really well within about 30 minutes as opposed to a couple hours with the Glidecam. Each parties of equipment has their own pros and cons of why you would want to use it and why you don't. I would say when it comes to the Ronin, when we're filming out in the wind and it's windy and dusty, the Ronin was able to hold up very well.
All right, and 3, 2, 1, action. Good. And walk.
This is hard to keep up.
1, action.
Oh yeah.
Alright, it was pretty good. Did you see it? Yeah, I saw it too. Also, something I forgot to mention with the Ronin, something that is a con for the Ronin is getting close-up shots or anything that requires audio. I didn't actually think about this till I used it. The Ronin is noisy. And I didn't think that it would be noisy, but when I first started using it, when you start turning it, it makes like an electronic beeping sound because of the motors operating the gimbal. So the Ronin, beware, it doesn't make noise. At the end of the day, which I say this in almost every single video, it doesn't matter what gear you have. And I know to a point it does. There's a difference between a $20 tripod and a $2,000 tripod. It does, but it's the person using the gear. If I had a $10,000 budget on my film and I could either spend $2,000 buying a Ronin, or I could spend like $200 paying someone who already owns their own Ronin to operate it better than I can, then I'd probably go with paying someone, because at the end of the day, you can't beat someone else's talent. So that is what I'm getting at. If you can afford to pay someone who has their own experience with a Movi or a Ronin or a Glidecam or Steadicam operators, we didn't even touch on Steadicams, but those are kind of their own. Steadicams, you can't really touch those. Those are Steadicams. Those are awesome. You know, if I wanted to buy a $6,000 Steadicam for my feature film, I'm kind of making a mistake, because I'd much rather spend just $500 paying a Steadicam operator for a day and just be it. That's what I have to say about it so far on my latest short film, The Last Hotspot. Again, if you guys haven't seen it, click somewhere on the screen. For the week I rented out the Ronin, I only used it on so many shots. It's only so many of those shots made it into the film. The shots that everyone seemed to like the most came from the Glidecam. And I'm not saying it's because the Glidecam is better. I'm just saying because we were run and gunning on that film. We didn't have time. We were filming in the snow. We were filming out in the middle of the desert. We had to commute 3 hours to our shoot every morning just to film. At the end of the day, the Ronin was just kind of too much. With the Ronin, if you could pitch a tent and you can set up, then that is great. Every production, whether it's freelance, you're filming weddings or corporate or real estate, whatever it is, each one has their own pros and cons, and it can kind of get the same quality out of both. Yeah, some have better pros and cons than the other, but at the end of the day, it's not about the equipment, it's about how cool you look on set. Okay? That's all that matters. It's what tool works best for you. If it's just run and gun, bring a Glidecam. If you have the budget and you have the time and you have the crew, use a Ronin or use the Glidecam, whichever one. They're both great pieces of equipment, and you can't judge someone for using that tool over this tool. Why are you using a Canon 50L as opposed to a Sony 50 prime lens? You know, it's like, well, everyone has their own preferences. They have different looks, so that's about it. So I hope this video kind of cleared something up, or maybe I just rambled on too much. I don't know. I just wanted to have my opinion out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to follow me on social media, all that information's in the description as well. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys next time.